Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about uncertainty. Uncertainty, which is something that is so much upon us in today's society. Now, of course, life is uncertain, and there's so many things that are uncertain about life, like our relationships, loss, our health, the economy, the weather. But with this pandemic upon us, with this social unrest, our government, politics, decisions that are made by our leadership, there's seems like it really is a huge burden on us, because the uncertainty is cutting across so many areas of our lives. And even though uncertainty is inevitable, it does weigh on us. It really does. And there's this underlying stress and tension and anxiety that all of us struggle with. But what do you do about uncertainty? Because our tendency when it comes to fear and anxiety, our tendency is to want to avoid the fears, avoid the anxiety, avoid the stress. But actually, when we avoid those emotions and those situations, we give them more power. We give them more energy. That which we resist persists. So avoidance really doesn't work. The second thing that we do is we try to control. We try to control everything. And especially, we try to control things that we can't control. We have no control over, but we still lean on control. That's our go-to. And when we do that, unfortunately, we realize how out of control we really are, and that control doesn't work. So I want to give you some suggestions, some ideas about what you can do with this inevitable uncertainty. So one idea is there's an approach called ACT. A-C-T. A is accept. Accept the distress. Accept that the distress, the anxiety, is not going away. In fact, sit with it. Acknowledge it. Kind of like mindfulness. Experience it. Not for hours or days on end, but maybe for a period of time where you acknowledge some of the emotions that you're experiencing, and you sit with them and you let them kind of flow through you. Sounds a little weird, but it's helpful to acknowledge and accept the distress. The second one is, the C is choose. Choose a plan. Choose a direction that you're going to take, because that does help us when we choose a way to get through this. And then the third one is to take action. Take action. Be intentional. Do something to deal with some of those feelings of uncertainty. Now, like I said earlier, some things we have no control over, and those things we do need to let go of. That's why I love the Serenity Prayer. It talks about helping us to take charge of the things we can, to accept the things we can't, and to know the difference between the two. So take action and have a plan and accept the distress. Something else that I find helpful with uncertainty is leaning into our faith, relying on God. Prayer can be very helpful. Third thing is reach out to others that you're close to. Maintain those connections. Lean on your support systems, because that helps us in dealing with stressful times. Another thing that can be beneficial is get back to the basics, get back to the routine, the schedule, the structure. That helps us with stress so much if we get back to our routine. Now, someone had once suggested that maybe we should focus on what we can't control and what we worry about and worst case scenarios. And someone had suggested maybe we should write down the worst case scenarios. Actually, for some people that works. To focus on the worst case, write it down, and then realize, you know what, the worst case isn't as bad as I thought it was. And I can get through that, even though the worst case seems overwhelming. I often talk about replacing the what ifs with the what is, because the what if can really get us worked up, and the what is focusing more on the present. It also helps to change the way we think. Our tendency is to catastrophize, to magnify, to obsess and dwell and ruminate on the things that are out of control, the uncertainties that we can't change. That just gets us all worked up and doesn't help us. So to reframe some of that catastrophic thinking, to redirect it and to challenge it, because so much of it is blown out of proportion and is out of perspective. We do tend to distort reality when we get worked up with anxiety and stress. So be more cognizant of the thoughts that are contributing to your fears and your anxieties, and challenge those thoughts. Recognize that even with uncertainty, there comes growth, there comes change. Often fear is a motivator to get us moving or to approach things differently. And even though this is a stressful time, no doubt it can motivate us to do more things or try more things or think about more things. Recognize that. And recognize that we will get through this. We will get through this. We're strong. We're resilient. Trust in yourself and your ability to work through difficult times. Uncertainty is inevitable, but how you cope with uncertainty determines the outcome. Until next time, Dr. Tony Ferretti.